Okay, let's try, guys.
Biotechnology can be simplified as the study of microorganisms in such a way that the properties of these organisms may be beneficial for human beings. It can even be dated back to the era of cavemen baking bread. One of the ingredients of bread is wheat, which is a staple crop for a significant proportion of the world's population. Wheat was one of the first crops brought into cultivation. Its domestication began about 10,000 years ago. The South African Agency for Science and Technology Advancement, or SASTA, presented a workshop at the 2014 SciFest Africa on how to extract DNA from wheat samples using household products. The products included dishwashing liquid, tap water, and methylated spirits. SASTA hoped that by presenting a fun and engaging demonstration of DNA extraction, students would become more interested in the processes of biotechnology.
We are part of the NRF to make sure that the science that's generated by that research gets communicated to the public, to learners and educators so that we can have enough next generation scientists, but to the public more importantly so that we can have an informed public.
While wheat can be used in biotechnology research, wheat itself is a product of biotechnology. Before it was used as some form of agricultural crop, wheat was a grass species that farmers eventually began breeding by picking the best crop. These processes were copied in later years with other types of crops that we consume today, such as corn. The evolution of wheat is considered to be one of the more ethical forms of biotechnology, but there are other forms that are less desirable. Certain environmentalists have a problem with genetic modification of organisms which occur in a laboratory setting, as they feel that this modification might have a negative impact on the environment. Other environmentalists are concerned about what effect genetically modified organisms might have on rural farmers. They find it problematic that in some instances, the seeds of these genetically modified organisms can't be reused, and as such, farmers would need to buy new seeds every season. A labeling law was put into place in South Africa so that consumers would know whether their food was genetically modified in any way, and as such could make the decision not to buy that product.
There are extremely strong control measures put in place to ensure that we don't modify something that's going to be to the detriment of humanity or an animal as well, if you are feeding it to an animal or in general to the environment.
The precautionary principle acts as an ethical device in science, but there are questions around as to how many individuals adhere to it. The genetic modification of organisms and the extraction of DNA are not the only forms of biotechnology. The Institute for Environmental Biotechnology at Rhodes University makes use of an integrated algae ponding system which uses aerobic biological processes in wastewater treatment to epitomize the principles of water and nutrient recovery and reuse. This is a simple and quiet sewage treatment system that makes use of microorganisms to break down the sewage and produce safe outflow. While this integrated algae ponding system is one of the ways in which biotechnology is being used in a sustainable way, there are other areas of biotechnology which are a source of great debate and misunderstanding. This is because of the conflict between the corporate side, the science side, and the humanitarian side of biotechnology. Megan Flemett, GMTV, Grahamstown.